Hello, Muskegon. Hi, this is your host, Gregory T. Roberts. Welcome to Torn Into, your show for news, information, and more. Today is July 9th, 2021. It's sunny outside, so we're going to get straight to the information and our guest today. Our subject is money, but more so than money, we want to talk about um, our credit unions versus banks, good credit scores. And I have been with this institution since 1994. Put your hands together for Jan Herrmann. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good, Greg. How are you?
Jan, I know we're stretching you today, but you're so good at what you do. How you doing today?
A little nervous. I've never done one of these radio station things, and I wouldn't have done it except for Greg asked me several times.
Thank you so much. But you have so much knowledge, and I want to get right into it. Jan, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you guys are located.
Well, as Greg said, my name is Janet, but I go by Jan Herrmann. I am the president, CEO of Muskegon Federal Credit Union. We were formerly Muskegon Governmental Employees Federal Credit Union, and we've been in business for over 68 years, serving the community first on our main branch, which is located at 65 West Laketon Avenue. And we added a branch at 1700 Holton Road to serve our members also. I've been here 39 years and 30 years as president.
And 30 years of your presidents, and I've been with you like 27 of those years.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, what's the difference between a bank and a credit union?
A credit union is member owned. Once you put your $5 shares into your account, you become an owner of the credit union. My bosses, the board of directors, are elected by the membership from the membership. So the board of directors are members. Could be just like Greg, one of the members of the credit union are on the board. So we're not a big corporation. We have the board of directors that are members that are overseeing the credit union from your perspective if you're an owner and a member.
And the accounts
are not that way.
And the accounts are protected by the federal, so no loss, no nothing, same thing.
Right. NCUA is our insurance, our federal insurance, where every account is covered up to $250,000.
So let's get into the good aspects of the credit union with you guys. You guys give away scholarships. You guys I've seen you guys give money to Muskegon Public Schools. I know you've done it because you did it when I was a coach, but how important is it for you to be on that corner and giving back to the Black community and the community as a whole?
That's what we're here for. There's a reason that we stayed on this corner. We have minorities, all different ethnicities in our membership, and the diversification is one of the things that I love about the credit union. We're here to meet everyone's financial needs the best we can. We are very much involved in our community through Child Abuse Council, the African American Museum. We just finished doing a big event and actually this morning did a drawing for 3 winners of $50 gift cards for their donations. We also support the Rescue Mission and many other charities at Cancer Society and the locals.
Now with the museum, you guys took money for how long to give to the museum?
A month, 2 months.
So a whole month
Mm-hmm.
You guys collected from the members to give back to the museum.
We did. And every time someone donated $5 or more, their name went into a drawing, and then we gave 3 $50 gift cards. 2 were donated by the museum and 1 by myself. And then the credit union also donated personally from the credit union to the museum this morning.
Okay, so our topic today is money. Let's talk from the beginning. New person, you guys start actually with kids accounts.
We do.
To teach lessons on saving money. Talk about that as well.
It's been one of my privileges over the years since I've been here to go into schools and to work with kids and teach them a little bit about finances. But we want our youth to be open up their memberships, their grandparents, aunts, uncles, parents at birth. A lot of them at birth, they open up. We reward for report cards, and we reward for graduating from high school. We reward for a youth week we do each year. It's coming up in the month of July here. We reward for graduation, if I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
And we do scholarships each year.
Good grades and all that kind of stuff. You
Yeah.
got an award for that. So it's good to start those habits of early of learning how to save money and how to spend money.
Yeah, and then you've got your relationship set with us. And we can help you grow right into the debit cards. We have youth checkings, we have youth vehicle loans, things to get our youth started on a good financial path.
Then you set up a way as our daughter went to college to have accounts where we can transfer money in, which Dad didn't because she needed a job. But you guys set that up, so that was available. You guys do
Yes.
that. Another thing I want to talk about. Let's get into money.
Okay.
What is considered a good credit score?
For us, a good credit, well, you can have a C paper grade. It's like a 600 to 639 credit score for us, which is a good credit score. But everyone's trying to achieve the A credit score, right? Which is like a 680 or above.
Mm-hmm. Now, explain the difference. Why is important having a good credit score as far as your interest, as far as jobs, as far as anything that you want to talk about this day? And
There's a lot of things that people don't realize with credit scores, Greg, and it starts right from if you want to rent. Someone's going to run your credit report most likely before they're going to rent to you. Your car insurance is based on your credit score. A lot of people don't know that, but that's a factor in your car insurance. And then, of course, if you want to get a car. So we recommend what we call now the credit building loan. It can be for building credit or rebuilding credit. If you've gotten in a situation where your score is dropped, we can help you rebuild that by doing what is called the credit builder. You can put in as little as $100 into your account and we secure it. That's the collateral for your new Visa. And you use that Visa each month, like to pay for gas or whatever, and you make your payments on time. And in 9 to 12 months, it will boost your credit score.
Now, what do you mean?
Or give you one.
What do you mean secure?
Secure means that money that you put into your account, you can't withdraw it. It's held, it's secured. But you have $100 Visa limit that you can use. And that's what you're using. You have a Visa charge card. You get it in the mail like every charge card. And that limit can be what you decide. If you want to have $500 secured, a lot of people, when they get their income tax back, do this. And they secure the $500 so they can't withdraw it. But now they have a Visa limit of $500 to use and start rebuilding their credit or build it if they haven't ever had it. It's a great thing to do. For my boys, when they were 17 years old, I started them a secured Visa like this. And by the time they were out of high school, they had an A credit score.
Okay, let's talk about when you get these credit cards in the mail or you're trying to rent or people pull credit scores to see what your credit scores are. What are they looking for? And tell us the difference between a hard pull and a soft pull.
Okay. A soft pull, it doesn't affect your credit score. A hard pull, if you have too many of them, and there's not a magic number, but if you have too many of them, even if you're out shopping for a car and you go to 5 different dealers, it can drag down your score because they think what the assumption is that you're desperate for credit. And so you're going umpteen places trying to get it. That's not your thought process. You're shopping. So you want to not get too many what we call hits to your credit score, to your report. So don't let a bunch of people pull your credit score within the year.
Okay.
Then if a soft pull won't affect your credit score, and you can see it.
How How many points or around should a hard pull affect your credit score? Like in my case, it affected mine like 46 points one time.
That's funny that I was just going to tell you 50.
Wow.
50 points.
So
50 points.
you really should watch what you're applying for and how many times you're applying for. So,
Exactly. So it doesn't pull it down, the score, lower your score.
okay. So I just did where I combined all our bills into 2 credit cards
Yep.
and my score went down.
Yep.
And they're trying to get us to get another credit card or something like that. What do you recommend to try to get that score and have a good credit score?
When you are combining debt, which is a great thing, and you want to look to make sure that you're getting your higher interest rate loans combined down into the lower rate, which is with us. We have as low as 7.9% credit score. And so you want to combine them. The thing you want to look at is not closing your long-term credit that you've had, the one you've had on for years and years and years. You don't want to close that because that's your long-term history. That can bring down your score.
Okay, so you just mentioned interest rates at 7.9. A lot of people don't look at it, they just see that shiny new credit card, but they're paying 24.99% interest rates. Talk to us about interest rates.
You really want to shop your interest rates. You should never be paying 24 or 25%. Now, I have to tell you that I'm the coupon queen. So if I'm going to go to Kohl's grocery or Kohl's department store, I do want my coupons. So I have a Kohl's charge card, but I do not make payments to Kohl's. I pay it off in a lump sum. If you get into those high rate interest rates, it will take you years and years and be almost impossible to get them paid off, especially if you make a minimum payment. When you come with the credit union, you get to this lower rate. And so you have a plan, a way out, a way to get out of debt and to get back to a better quality of life.
Let's talk about that, paying that minimum payment each month that they send you, and okay, you can pay us $25 or you can pay a larger more sum and get that debt down. How important is that?
It's very important, Greg. I always recommend that you make, even if all you can afford is $5 to $10 a month above the minimum payment, at least that amount will go on the principal instead of all going to interest. You always want to make sure that wherever you owe, interest is being paid first and then principal, so that it's going on to the principal, your extra payments, how it's being processed.
You mentioned something, extra payments. So you have one payment a month, but actually you can pay as many payments as you want.
At our credit union, you can pay ahead if you get your income tax with your stimulus money. If some of you still have your stimulus money saved and waiting, I highly recommend that you put it on your debt, on the principal, and pay that down and get paid ahead some. It is always good. We never know what life's going to throw at us.
Right.
So if you can be a payment ahead in case something happens that you didn't foresee, a payment or two ahead is always good to be.
That's a great segue, Jan, into you never know what's going to happen when the average disaster with families out there is $400 away from being in total trouble. We have COVID, and matter of fact, it's still going on, and people are having problems. Okay, so you get a car, you're behind car payment, you're behind rent or house payment. What should you do when it's concerning paying the credit union or the bank?
You want to talk to who you owe. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to call and talk to them. Most times, I can only speak for our credit union, but if you are not delinquent on your loan and you've run into a hard time and you talk to us, and you've been a member that's been in good status, what we can most times do is a modification. Maybe see if we can lower your payments down for you. We'll work with you. We don't want anyone to be 2 months delinquent, because that's after 30 days delinquency, it goes on your credit report and starts really dragging your score down.
Mhm.
So you want to get a hold of the financial institutions right away when you see an issue coming up. And I think I could speak for almost all financial institutions, not Positive, but for credit unions. We're here to help you. We are here to help you. That is what our goal is. And so if you reach out to us and let us know you're having difficulties and see if you can make a smaller payment, or let us help you.
There was a time, and because we only have you like for 13 more minutes. See, I told you how fast I would go.
Yeah.
There was a time in our life where we came to you, and my credit score was dismal, and we had to make, and it was because of some poor decisions, but more so, I had to make a decision to take care of my mom or to get a job, and I had a car repoed and all this kind of stuff. And we came to you, and you told us to do A, B, C, D, and our credit score would go up, and we did exactly. Now, you told us to do a budget. You told us some hard stuff, but you said if we do it, um, our score would go up. How important is that relationship?
And did that score go up, Greg?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So that relationship, and why I said that you should start with us. If you're kids, you should start, but whatever age you are, start, join the credit union, come in, let us get to know you, have a relationship with you. We can sit down, look at your credit report. Maybe I can't give credit to everyone. It's just not feasible based on credit scores or credit histories. What I can always do is what Greg said that I was able to do with him, and that is to set you up a plan. I teach budgeting. I'm happy to sit down with our members, help them go through what they owe, get a good plan to get them in a good place financially with their budget, and then help them get a plan to improve their credit. And so we can get them saving money, get them their interest rates lowered, and get their everyday quality of life with those payments getting down, and feeling like you can breathe and enjoy life, not just pay bills.
But what do you say to the person that I'm going to walk away from that loan, or I'm going to apply for Chapter 8 or something like that? I just saw you cringe
Now
about
you see,
that.
this is when I want to start my preaching, but
No, hey, preach, sister, we'll pass the plate.
I just want to tell you that your yes should be yes. And when you signed that document, that loan document, you put your word that you were going to make the payments. There are times when Chapter 7 bankruptcy is necessary. And what Chapter 7 was created for was emergencies like illness, medical illness. Other than that, we can find a way to get you out of it. There are times when bankruptcy is necessary, but it is not nearly as necessary as people are applying for it and filing bankruptcy. And they don't understand from the bankruptcy attorneys that this is a long-term effect for you on your credit. And
Mhm.
if you would get that relationship, if we could work with you and help you not file bankruptcy, pay what you said you would pay, your financial picture will be a lot better.
Yeah, we at one time was trying to sell a house. House wouldn't sell, and it didn't sell for what we want. We asked you guys to take a huge risk on us, and we didn't walk away from that, and we paid it off. And you guys watched our back, and we really appreciate it. But the important thing is that we came and communicated with you.
Exactly. If we have to go looking for someone because they're delinquent, that just makes it worse. Or if you don't return our phone calls, or if you just don't, like Greg said, come to us. If you're a member and you're having issues, come to us. If you're not a member and you want to join our credit union, we can get you set up on a good plan. We'd love to have you come join. That's what we're here for, to help everybody meet their financial needs. We have great rates. Right now, if you've got a vehicle loan somewhere else, we're as low as 1.25%.
One and a
Our V
quarter.
rates, yeah. for
Wow.
a 36-month A+ paper. Yeah. And then, but all of our rates, they're 1/4% off right now, off the really low rates that we're offering. If you've got your vehicle loans or your RV loans somewhere else and you're paying a high rate, let us see if we can beat it and save you that interest.
How important is you talking about rates, staying on top of the rates? Like for our home, we have this rule: if that rate goes down more than a point, we're going to refinance, or a point or 2 points. We're going to refinance.
Yep.
Talk about the rates and interest, and just rates.
Interest rates, just you have to be on top of the game. You have to know what you owe. So many people don't even know what their interest rate is. And when with COVID, with the pandemic, one of the good things were mortgage rates were lowered extremely. So everyone needs to check and see, what rate are you paying on your house, on your cars. Know what you're paying and shop and see if we can beat it, and save you that money. And also shorten the time that you're going to owe for that. Your vehicles, if you're paying such a high rate, how old would the vehicle really be when it's paid off?
Mm-hmm.
Will it still be a viable vehicle for you to be driving?
Mm-hmm. Talk about the benefits of, with credit unions, share branching.
Oh, shared branching is excellent. We credit unions in Muskegon, a ton of us, we have a camaraderie. We do. And if you're a member of another credit union, I'm not trying to steal you. I'm not. But I'm here for you if we can help you. So part of that is, if you're a member of Muskegon Federal Credit Union, you can go to Muskegon Co-op or Service One Credit Union or other credit unions around in Muskegon and outside of Muskegon.
Outside
and
of Muskegon.
outside Grand Rapids, all over the country, and access your account by going in with your membership card and driver's license and do your transactions where you're at. So say you're a member of Muskegon Federal Credit Union and we're here on Sanford and Laketon and on Holton Road, like I said, but you're down by the lake, and Lake Michigan. You can go to Lakeshore Credit Union and access your account for free.
Okay.
Deposits and withdrawals and such.
We have 5 minutes. What are some of the big misconceptions about credit unions or bank institutions? Like the people that, I don't trust banks or credit unions. I'll bury my money in the backyard.
Oof. That's pretty scary. Number one is burying your talents to me, but
Yeah.
you want to earn interest. Yes, I'm the first to admit interest is terrible right now. But the thing is that you want to keep it safe. I'm not saying you couldn't have a little bit, but I just don't recommend you keep too much at home. It's just not safe. We all know that we have a high crime area, and it's just not safe to have that money or to be carrying too much money. So I just want to encourage everyone to join a credit union, to be part of the movement, to get involved. Maybe you want to be on the board of directors or one of the other committees and be part of that.
I helped you with that election, and that was
You did the annual meeting, yes.
It was now talk about that. You guys have to have an annual meeting with people that belong to the credit union.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have an election at the annual meeting. This year, unfortunately, we had to do it virtual, like so many other things because of COVID. We're hoping that in March we'll be back at the Polish Falcon. We do a dinner and drawings, and then we have elections. And it's where people in our membership have turned in their names to be on the ballot, to be on our board of directors.
Okay, so in review, because we're going to be losing you in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
In review, join a credit union, join an institution. Make sure that you're on top of interest rates, because a lot of people don't do that.
Right.
Watch your hard pulls versus soft pulls.
Mm-hmm.
What about negative comments on your credit report?
Negative comments.
Like,
You don't want to have a repo, like repos or, things like that you turn back in for less than the balance that you settled. Just really, when you're working out a deal, when you're trying to work with your financial institution, make sure that you are totally confirmed with them in total agreement on how it's going to affect your credit report, what comments are going to be put on. Don't allow your vehicles to be taken back or repoed. You want to stand by those and pay them off, even if you need to sell them and you have a negative balance that we could help with.
What if you're dealing with a lot of medical bills and that is on your report? What should you do?
You want to start a payment arrangement. You know, a lot of times they're just astronomical. And if I can see, when I review a loan, if I can see a payment arrangement where you're making payments, you know, the best you can on them, then, and you can show that to us, then we'll consider those in an arrangement made, and it won't be held against you. But you've got to, that's a good point, Greg. We've got to look and see your collections, your judgments. If you have them, your goal should be to at least start making payments and get in the process of eliminating those judgments.
Now, one thing that people don't know is if you have judgments or collections and stuff like that, you can actually go on your credit report and put an explanation, and people don't take advantage of that.
Yes, that's true. You can put an explanation. If something catastrophic happened to you and why you were delinquent, definitely contact the Bureau. We use TransUnion, but all three bureaus you should let know.
Okay, so Jan, tell everybody where you're located and how they can get in touch with you guys.
We're located at 65 West Laketon Avenue, and we are located at 1700 Holton Road. You can come in our credit union from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Our drive-through is open on Friday nights for service until 6 o'clock on Laketon, and then Saturday mornings at Holton Road from 9 until noon. Visit our website, muskfedcu.com. Give us a call if you have questions. For as little as $5, you can become a member, open your account, and see all the wonderful opportunities and features and services that we have to offer to help you grow and become financially strong.
Now, before I let you go, I want you to talk about this new thing that you have with your members. If they have income coming in on a Wednesday, but it's Monday and you want to get that money early, you can. Can you talk about that?
Sure. It's a wonderful feature. It's if you have your money coming in automatically, like through what we call ACH, the automated clearinghouse. So your payroll or your Social Security, whatever it is set, and you can see it's pending. Like Greg said, maybe it's the 28th and you don't have the money and to wait for the 1st. If you have $10 in your account, you can go online, and for $10, you can post that early and get it into your account and accessible to you.
Jan, I want to thank you so much. I told you how fast it can fly. We actually need another segment. Now that you're done,
maybe we'll do that.
We'll get you again. Thank you so much, and you have a good weekend.
Thank you for the opportunity. Goodbye, everyone.
God bless. All right, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have a commercial. We got Chauncy Williams coming up, and Chauncy and Tony have a show, and we're going to continue this conversation about money. You are listening and watching Torn in Two on WVS 103.7 and M106. We'll see you in a second.
The wait is over. The all-new Umoja Radio Network, home to over 40 Black-owned radio stations and podcasts, is here for you. Connect to the world's fastest-growing collection of unapologetically Black and proud media, from podcasts to independent Black-owned radio stations, and access to the important news and music you need. Umoja Radio is from our culture, by our culture, for our culture. The all-new Umoja Radio is available right now on Google Play and the Apple Store. Join the movement. Be empowered.
Welcome back to Torn in Two, and our subject today is money and credit unions. And but now we're going to take a switch. We have a special guest, and he's no stranger to the radio station. His name is Chauncy Williams. He's the author of the book, What Do I Do Now? Welcome, and as Fred Hammonds would say, put your hands together for Chelsea Williams. Mr. Williams, how you doing, sir?
Good. This is an honor, Greg. How you doing?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm hanging out at home. Just it's Friday afternoon. One of the radio personalities told me, "Hey, Chauncy, why don't you jump on the StreamYard and get in?" I'm usually a Zoom guy or Google Meet, so this is my first time on StreamYard, and just left the movies to watch. I'm a Marvel guy, so I just got through watching Black Widow. So
okay, so give us a quick rating 1 through 5. 5 being the best, 1 being was a good movie.
A 4 for me. It was some spaces where they had to catch you up into the narrative for people that don't watch Marvel. But other than that, it was good. And then it was I would say during these times of the pandemic, the most hit population are women, especially because a lot of women are single parent mothers, households, and during the pandemic, I think that the Marvel movie showing a great example of how strong women are. So it was good. It showed a really good thing, and it's the background of it is probably like the sex trafficking, but they're using it with the technology to manipulate women to serve other purposes. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not trying to advocate promote the movies, but it was good. It was good to me. So
no, but we talk about the trafficking all the time. The reason why we have you here is number one, you wrote a book, which we want to talk about, but number two, you have a show to continue what we talked about with Jan, but you guys talk money every Saturday, correct?
Oh yes. Me and Tony Williams, insurance broker from Farmers Insurance, Credit and Debt Help, 103.7 The Beat. I mean, me and Tony Williams, and it's been going on since 2014. I can remember working with Tony before. I always had these visions and dreams, and I had these desired aims. And it was like I end up doing something. I said, okay, I got this book, I got these concepts, I got these programs, but I said we need a voice of people where young and old can do something. So I emailed PA and said, hey, PA, I got this idea. And he said our board met and said, hey, they got this guy named Tony Williams. And I'm like, Chauncy Williams, Tony Williams. I didn't know him at all. And to this day, people actually is my uncle or my daddy or my brother or something. And it's been a great relationship. And for me, the title of it is What Do I Do Now? Because I'm younger than Tony. I probably have about 10 to 12 years of learning and having mentors. But Tony is a licensed insurance broker. And for me, it's coming out of debt, coming from a family that didn't have the understanding of how to position their kids to be credit worthy. So by having Tony on this space with me, I have good knowledge on building, but then Tony's in that wealth building space, that insurance space, and just seeing those other areas. And he also had a background in the collection agency. So he used to be a person that called you on the phone too. So he has a great knowledge, and it was a great pairing for me and Tony to be together in that space. And I just thank God. And like, again, PA birthday just passed. People doesn't understand that the media is powerful. That's the dream I had. I would listen to Miles Monroe, and Miles Monroe say, get in the media. And Miles Monroe is a pastor that passed away several years ago.
Yeah.
And he said, get in the media. I'm like, what do you mean media? And he started giving a history of radio, of television, of newspaper, of magazines. And the world used to be like, oh, don't get into the media because it's a satanic spirit. And he like, no, if you get in it and you doing right by God, you can be the medium. Because you got God, heaven, earth. So where you going to be the medium to spread a message that's so positive that can get people on the right track, renewing of your mind. So that's how I got that vision. Then I wrote an email to PA, and he said, we were just talking about that. So that was the coincidence of God. And I wrote the book back in 2007. And I just finished a box. I usually buy them by 25. I bought a box at the beginning of last month. And this is my last book in the box. So, and it's just every month I try to move at least 25 books to people and just help them, but also services I can provide. And I caught the last 5 minutes of the credit union interview. And she's on point. And it's always good to have that credit union community relationship with the bank. You could be with the corporate banks, the Wells Fargos, the Chases, but having that credit union, because they show a lot of leeway when it comes to credit scores and points and things like that. When somebody has a small bank, they're more ready to lend you money and give you that second chance. So I caught on to that end of that conversation, Gregory, and credit unions are important to us, especially a community like Muskegon.
Talk a little bit. First of all, before we go into your book, talk about, because the younger generation for some reason ain't having it. That old G versus that young G, getting together and teaching each other. I got some knowledge to teach you, so you don't hit the same trees that I hit, but
Correct.
you got some knowledge how to relate to that younger generation. That I'm 58. I don't know what's going on. How important is that?
It's very important, because when you're young, and a lot of times, and I'm speaking from a standpoint of coming from a minority community. I'm coming from the East Park Manor. So when I'm speaking from that standpoint, you want to be fake rich, real broke. You want to be able to wear your bling, have all your money in your pocket.
Wow, fake rich.
Let everybody see what I got, what I'm driving. And then when it gets to the point of like saving and understanding that you have a future, no, I ain't had no money my whole life. I'm trying to show you right now what I got. This is what I got on. This is the name brand of it. This is how much it costs. So then, but then you get in an image of, like I said, being fake rich and really real broke, because you're trying to catch up on payments. And then if you miss a payment, you got late pays. But as long as you got your fronts up, you're looking good. So people think you got money. But that's on the reverse end of something else. So when that old OG generation, and it's funny that I heard Tony say this. I heard my mentor, Alonzo Harris, he's a former accountant. He passed away. He said this, and this speaker by the name of Jim Rome said this. He said, for every dollar you get, this is OGs, only spend 70 cents. And that principle stuck with me. And when I heard it 3 times from 3 different people, I said, this is some powerful stuff, because what it does is it helps you set your life in a priority. And I'm going to break down the last 30 cents. So the first 10% that's left over, the 30, is charity or tithes. That's you want to get the money to the church. What it teaches you is obedience.
Yes.
So when it comes to credit and it comes to finance, if you are obedient with 10% of your money and you showing somebody, I'm not greedy, I can give 10% away to a cause that I like volunteering. I like helping my community out. I'm going to give back in some capacity. So that's my 10%. Secondly is my investments, my future. The OGs telling me, hey, Chauncy, it's a such thing called when you invest in 12 years in a row and you start putting $300 in 12 years, and you put $300 in when you pass that 12-year mark, it's $600 as soon as it hit that bank account. I say, what's that? Oh, that's compound interest. So that's that second one. So imagine being on a job or being in a space of work for over 3 years or over 12 years, and you've been doing this principle of taking this 30 cents and putting it somewhere else. Then the last 10 is liability insurances, life insurances, not homeowners insurance and stuff like that. That's in your other 70 cents. But if you got the liability and the life insurance, just in case something happens, you got your 30% covered. So when the accident happens, when the accident happens, and you think like, okay, I'm fully vested with the Lord. I do believe in what God can do. So when that 10% I'm giving to the charity of the church, I look at that as my heavenly bank account. So as I'm going to and fro, I have a unwavering confidence and obedience to say, hey, I've been paying it for God for so many years. I know he got me. So I'm gonna be in this next space where I need to be at as an employee or a worker. But then that investment part, that's so fun. And it teaches you discipline, because the fake rich and real broke concept is, oh, my car's 3 years old, let me trade it in. I paid it off, let me get a new one. So the OG like, hey, and I'm thinking about my mentor, Tony Williams. Tony had this bravado, an Oldsmobile bravado, right?
Right.
It's like falling apart, driving it. I was like, when you get this, Tony? It's all 1993. He probably just got rid of it like 3 years ago. And he said this. I say, and he seen my truck. He said, how long you had that? I say, this is probably in 2014. I had like a year left on it to pay on it. I said, yeah, I got it in 2010, 5-year loan. I said, I'm about to be done. I'm about to be done about 8 months ahead of time. He said, do this for me. Don't buy another car. So whatever you got to do to work on that truck. How many miles it got on it? At the time, it had 86,000. Now I got 175,000. He said, what's the payment? It's like $350. He said, do this for me. set up an IRA or investment account. You already got your pension at the school. You got your 403B. And just put that money in there. Just keep on paying your car note. But now pay it to yourself.
Right.
He say, so then I start looking at first, I'm like, oh, I got this money. No, I'm paying this car note. But the car paid off. I got the title. It's in my name. So then my wife's car came up. I say, hey, what's that? That's paid off. It was a year later. I'm about to do that to hers.
Mm-hmm.
So then start doing. So now I'm about 6 years in of probably putting some decent money away because an OG set me down and say, hey, so now when I look at the money, Greg, I say, oh, that's a car note. But then when you look at somebody's credit report, they'll take that same car note in that capacity, pay that car off, trade it in, get lesser value for it, then have a paid account, then get another loan.
Right.
Now you got 2-3 loans that's paid off for 25, 15, 17,000. That could have been in your own bank account.
Right. I like the fact that you said fake rich. In other words, you driving a car that's $600, but you got $2,200 rims on it.
Yeah, fake rich, real broke. I'm not knocking nobody. Hey, if that's how you want to shine, that's how you do. I'm not on that level. I'm not in that space. I mean, I don't need that type of attention. So I appreciate the people that got it to do it, and I'm not knocking nobody that's doing it. But I just like to watch my money do like Chia. Grow.
Right.
I like to watch it instead of watch it in the parking lot. I like to watch it in a credit union or a bank. And so when that $600 emergency come up, Greg, I got it.
Right. And people don't understand that most people in the country is $400 away from a disaster.
Yep.
From a disaster, just $400. They don't even have that in their bank account. They're $400 away from a disaster. I was just talking to my son-in-law, and he was talking about, well, he wanted to be done working at 40 or 50, and I'm going, how much money are you putting in the 401k?
There you go.
I went, how much money are you saving? I'll get to that in a year or so. No, how much money are you putting in a 401k? Or the second thing that you talked about, we don't buy health insurance or life insurance, or we ain't buying life insurance and then it's too late, or we buy the wrong insurance.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had a case where a guy told me a real sad story that a family was buying insurance and he passed away and they thought it was all set, but they were buying accidental insurance and not life insurance.
That's right. That's the liability part. Like if something happened to somebody, and that comes that's not at a premium either. It's like it's cheaper. So you think you got insurance because they say 100,000, 50,000, but it's like decapitation, collision. And I'm not an insurance person, but I've heard stories where people thought they had insurance and they got the accidental. So you're exactly right. And if Tony was on air, he would tell you that I've heard some situations that it's been cases where people thought they had insurance, and imagine going and saying, yeah, I got this policy, or then having term insurance and not renewing your terms. So that's another thing. But then the powerful thing about insurance, period, is your credit rating.
Mm-hmm.
So if your credit score is not right, and a lot of times I see this, people want to get better credit so they can finance their life out. I'm like, why would you finance your life out? Because good credit is helped to make some major moves. Like, all right, I want to buy a home. I need $10,000 to invest in something. And somebody give me a call, say, hey, you can get into this long-term investment. It's going to be a 5-year turnaround. You got $10,000 right now. No, I got it tied up in this car note. Oh man, we missed out.
Right.
And so it's like, instead of the 60 months on paying the car off, you like, look, in the next 5 months, we got this crowd fund. We're about to do this with this money. We got this investment. You could be part of this if you put in this much right now. In 5 years, it's going to be this. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm ready. It was money was just sitting over there anyway. So just going forward, credit is important. But Greg, I'm gonna say this: the disconnect between the OGs and the young, it's like, oh, a lot of them feel like it's my time. What you talking about? You too old. But then, like you said, when you run into that emergency, and I heard the credit union person say repossession, judgment, tax lien. You getting those envelopes, those orange, green, whatever color, and they coming and you ignoring them. But they hitting you with 30-day, 60-day, 90-day charge off.
Yeah.
You
25. And then the interest penalties that they add on top of that too is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So it's unfortunate, but then what I thought, because I used to be a loan originator, so I used to have to collect people documents to help them qualify for home loans. That's how I wrote the book, because it's like when the mortgage crisis happened to me. And lucky I had an accountant, a mentor in the space where he was doing a 70 cent out of each dollar to me. I didn't even know it because I had all the checks coming in and I was living fake rich, real broke. Mm-hmm. And when I ran into a real problem, when those ARM mortgages blew up, I was like, I don't got the payments. He was like, oh, it's $15,000 over here. I was taking it out because I know you was a young fool. So I was like, what? Why he say, I'm your mentor. I've been your mentor since 1999. I know you. And then he said, I'm proud of you, but you're going to come out of this. And he said, what you need to do is write a book about your experiences and teach your people. So go ahead.
Let's talk about that book, because I want to revisit some issues that you talk about.
Okay.
What's your book about?
Book is about credit and debt help, and it's the title is "What Do I Do Now?" So it's like my situation was what do I do now? And I would say, even though I had that nest egg he gave me, it's still I didn't understand all the knowledge on how to move through the situations. So it took me 36 months to figure out how to get my life restructured. So what I did in those 36 months, I built relationships. I figured out the process when it came to letters, disputes, repos, tax liens, showing up in court when you owe something.
Oh my God.
Man, I got a funny story. I've been married 14 years and I love my wife. She crazy. And she reminds me of situations that we do, right? That I've been through. So when I met her, the mortgage crisis happened. So I had all this stuff. Then all of a sudden, the fake rich, real broke came because the interest rates changed. And she was still hanging around me. So at the time, me and one of my buddies was owning a property in Lansing. So this is how you go from transition, where you can laugh at trauma and you can laugh at a serious situation. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna transit it to the book for you. So I get a subpoena to come to court because we got this property that we bought that we didn't improve. We had to improve. City Lansing don't play. That's a city government. They there. So my buddy called me like, Chauncy, you got to come to court. We couldn't get the roof done. So the people in the community, the owners, you got to come to court. I was like, I said, what property is that? I said, I ain't been out to see that one. I don't really know that much about that one. Because, we managing these properties. It's like 6 of them. We got 6 properties between 2 people. So he doing the contracting work. And sometimes he financing, I'm financing them. So we doing that. So then I show up in court and they asking me questions. I don't know nothing. You hear me? I don't know nothing. So if you remember, it's a funny episode. I was a real Dave Chappelle fan back in the day. Yeah. But, when he had the one with Tron in the courtroom, when he was like, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. That was me in the courtroom. He's like, yeah, I see that you tried to put a roof on the property. Now he gave me the list right before I go into the court. I had like 30 minutes to look at everything. I was like, I have no recollection. So my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she in the back of the courtroom. She reminded me this last month. She was like, boy, you don't know, you done been through some stuff. But then the judge ended up hitting the gavel, getting mad, right? And he said, I'm gonna give you 90 days to either improve this property or sell it. So what we end up doing, we short sold the property, right? For a loss. Mm-hmm. But it was so many other people losing their houses. Made a couple dollars, but we didn't make our investment dollars. But I got out that property. But my friend that helped me do this, he's an educator now. He lives in the Detroit area. Great guy. I'm gonna share his name. Jonathan Walker, one of the best running backs out of Muskegon in the history of Muskegon. Yeah, Michigan State together. So Jonathan Walker gonna appreciate this story. Johnny Walker got a real testimony. So on the rest of those properties, Johnny took the fall on them, and I respect him. He took the fall. It affected his affected his finance. His credit report was shot. My credit report was hit. So I started looking and saying, I got to do something. So I sat back with my mentor and say, I started looking at people's credit reports and I was preparing them for the loan origination. And I said, I can do people credit. So I ended up doing that and getting myself back. And I told John, let me try yours. I tried his, he got back. And then just being able to go from there. But then at the time I was doing it with a company and they was charging so much money. I was like, no, I can't do my people like this. So what I discovered is, I said, what does it take? Do I need to make sure I got a nonprofit and my LLC where I can go out with some grant money and I can leverage the costs so I can educate my people? So what I tell people now, and what I've did, Greg, is I created a system, and you won't even believe it, that I charge $25 to help people go from the 400 or the 500 to the 700 club.
Stop it.
And I'm gonna share it on air right now because it's not silence. There's a lot of people.
Get some paper, people.
Yeah.
Get some paper real quick. Okay, go.
Here's my process. So for $25, this is what I do for people. It do two things. Because see, when you're a spiritual person, you just want people to sow seeds. That's all you want to do. So when you're in a financial realm with somebody, and I'm speaking from a Jacob standpoint, where you can be in something and you can figure your way out of it, it's best to do it for somebody else, right?
Right.
So for the $25, I said, okay, what else would somebody spend at $25? McDonald's. But then I started thinking, I said, I'm an educated African-American male. When I first started teaching, when somebody sub, $25 an hour is not bad. So I said, for an hour, I wrote this grant to this company called the Pollination Project or something. They gave me about $7,500. So this right before the pandemic. And I designed an online class. Then I said, hold up, I can leverage my costs. I don't have to charge $150 per person. I can charge $25. Why said, you gonna do that? I said, I probably can help 500 people.
Right.
She's like, why would you want to help 500 people? Because I say it's in the process and in the teaching. So here it goes. So for $25, I'll do this. So it's 3 credit reporting agencies, and each company reports differently. And banks pay individual credit agencies to pull your credit report. So it might be a credit union that say, hey, we're only pulling Experian. They paying Experian $13.99, right, to pull your credit report. So what I would do is, it's a such thing as a hard pull and soft pull. I'll go in and by the blessing of the Lord, people over probably 300 people have trusted me with their personal information, where I go in, look at all that stuff in their credit report, and I turn it into a 1-pager, right? In an hour, I turn it to a 1-pager. And what I'm noticing is, at different income levels, it's the same problems and same issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I heard you talking with the lady from the credit union earlier. That medical bill, let's slide that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's slide them collections in there.
Yep.
Let's slide the student loans in there. Let's slide the late pays in there.
Mm-hmm.
And for some brothers, slide the child support up in there.
Yep.
Let's slide this judgment up here for this rent. So certain income levels, the same issues come up. So I said, okay, I'm seeing the same problems. So I'm talking to one of my friends that went to college with me. He an attorney. We're putting all the stuff together. He said, these are the letters I'm gonna use. This is what I'm gonna use. This is what I'm gonna use. He said, man, that's good. So I run the process through. So I end up building relationships with companies that's connected to me that help me get out of my situation.
Right.
And I recommend my people to them after I charge them $25. And so instead of somebody looking at they got a big old headache, I show them on a sheet of paper, like, this is where you at. If you do this and this and this, you mail these letters off, do this, and you contact me in every 30 days, I can guarantee you in 3, 6, 9, or 12 months, you'll have at least 150 credit score increase.
Wow, that is so deep. Because the thing is that what people don't understand is that I monitor with my apps. Anytime my credit score is looked at or whatever, I monitor it. I monitor the percentage points. If that percentage point goes down and I can save on interest, I monitor that. And you try to explain that to other people and they go, what you talk about? But yet you go down to the county building before COVID. And the thing is that it's just running with people just going and paying judgment. And how important is it? I want to break this down because I know we're running out of time. That you see all these buildings in our neighborhoods of brand new homes, but can't afford them because we got poor credit scores. how important is we start saving up money and getting that credit score so we can get that home
That's
in
right.
our neighborhood.
I'm gonna give you a scenario. I got a couple people that just transitioned into homeowners, and before they met me, they was nowhere near it. And I connected them with the realtor, or I did the credit on one end for them. And what we did was we looked at their credit report, but it's also stuff like people don't know, Greg, about their student loan debt. See, the Congress just passed a bill with the FHA loans that the student loan, where they calculate your student loan, is different now. So in the past, they used to take, say, if you got like 100,000, that's typical for some people, $50,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt, right? They would say, okay, we're gonna take 1%. 1% of 100,000 is $1,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So people would do what people do to avoid student loans. They do deferment or forbearance. So when you do that, when it comes to calculating a home payment and your budget, they take 1% of your whatever your student loan amount is. In the past, they was taking that 1% because you wasn't paying it and say $1,000. So they already putting that 1,000 on your budget. Oh, they making your bills high off that one. So this is what they just did. They just changed the FHA, 3% loan, and this is probably like almost about 4 months ago, where if you enter income-based payment, the 15-year or 25-year, where you paying at least $1, they would take that $1 instead of that $1,000.
Wow.
That's giving somebody more affordability at $900. So that's one of the cheat codes right there, audience. So imagine if you like, oh, my student loans deferred. No, that's a hardship. That means you can't pay nothing. So now they got to make this mystical thing that say you paying $1,000. So what else they did with that is, if you're still in the forbearance, they'll take, okay, we'll take a 0.5% now. So instead of 1,000, we show 500. No, I want 500. If I'm paying $15 a month, put that $15 a month on it.
Chauncy,
Go ahead.
I gotta have you back, but more so, explain about your show, because people need to hear more of this information. Because we're about to end time. Please tell them about your show on
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay. Me and Tony we're pre-recorded. Credit and Debt Help, 103.7 The Beat. Tony Williams, insurance broker, 30 years of working with people, life insurance, investment portfolio, car, auto, boat, business insurance. Myself, I'm a lifeline to help somebody get lower insurance rates, financing rates, so you can get compound interest work for you instead of them tearing you a new behind when it comes to your credit and finance. And it's not about having all the shiny things. It's all about saying, hey, can I sign for my kid on a financial aid so they can go to college? Can I be able to afford an opportunity to the next phase of life if I got to go back to school? That's what credit is all about to me. It's all about being able to move in life, and it makes your self-esteem better. So we talk about issues that's going on in the world today when it comes to finance, when it comes to the president, to the governor. I'm always reading Kiplinger's Money Magazine, listening to NPR, and because I'm interested. If I got that moral compass and I got a destined aim on where I want to go in life, and I can tell my money where to go and learn how to live with patience and say, I got a forecast, I'm straight on that. I don't need the $2,000 rims. I don't need this lavish trip that I'm gonna put on a credit card. I save for that. I have my own mad money. That's what me and Tony talked about. And a lot of times I give my own personal experiences, or I share former clients that I had because they're excited about the opportunities. But we really try to just remove the shame from people, Greg, because when you make one thing we can't get back, audience, it's time. I said it took me 36 months back in 2007 and 2008. And now I'm able to say, hey, 3, 6, 9, 12. Talking to a young lady out of Detroit yesterday. Never met her. She has a friend that I help. Her friend told her, whatever Chauncy tell you to do, give it to him, girl. And that's what we have to do for our people as an urban community, to build the voice and the trust with each other to say, he can get you there, she can get you there. Go to this bank, go to these people, they'll take care of you. That's, instead of taking advantage of people, give them that advantage, give them all the information, pay it forward. So I just pay it forward for $25 because I'm like, my wife said, you can't do everything for free. I know you believe in the biblical principles, but you got to help your people the best way you can. So that's how I filter it. So people are like, oh, he only charged $25. Ask somebody I help. And you would be like,
Cha-
no, go ahead, brother.
Chauncy, look, we got to end the show, but watch this show on Saturday. Chauncy, I'm going to have you back for part 2. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine. That's definitely fine.
Thank you, sir. And I love you, man. And I'll see you in a second.
Hey, look, you owe me some beef ribs with that cornbread with the diamonds in it.
I got it. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, listen. That show, I got to end it real quick to say happy birthday to PA, but I really have to say to my behind a man, there's an even better woman. My wife is having her birthday. She's turning, I'm not going to say her age. Honey, I love you dearly. I couldn't do half the stuff that I do without you. I thank God every day for you. Happy birthday. And I pray that you get everything of your heart's desire. This is Turning 2. Take care. See you next week. God bless.
The second annual I Am Her Feminine Hygiene Drive, supporting young ladies from